other place. So I want to show you a few examples of ways I've seen Scratch used in schools in different places. It was great to see some of the examples here, but I'll show you a few other examples that I've really liked when I've seen in other places. The first one comes from India. This comes from a science class in India where they were studying the layers of the earth. And as a final project, this is a boy who's giving a guided tour of the earth. He's speaking in his native language of Kannada. He's from Bangalore. And the fact that he can put his own voice into it, I think, is important. He really was personalizing the project of explaining things. His teacher explained to us that this boy was really excited to learn that things are moving inside the earth, like the water table. He was so surprised that things are moving inside the earth. So he wanted to share his ideas with others. So he took what he had learned about the earth and was sharing it so others could learn about it. Or here's an example from a social studies class where they were studying the island of Rapa Nui. This is Easter Island, the island off of South America. And this student decided to make a project that's sort of like Sim City, a simulated city, but in this case it's Sim Rapa Nui. And he had learned that fishing is the main part of the economy. So to survive, you have to make a fishing rod from a tree branch and then go fishing. And if you catch fish, your happiness goes up. But if you cut down too many trees, the God happiness goes down because you have to be environmentally conscious. So it's a way for him to show what he had learned about the history and the culture and the economy of Rapa Nui. So he was developing his programming skills, but also showing things about what he had learned in social studies class and learning how to communicate with others. And I'll show one more example, this in the United States from an elementary school where it was in their language class where they were learning to read books. And in 4th grade, a popular book is called Charlotte's Web. So instead of writing up a book report, this student did a Scratch project about the book they had read. And one thing that I liked about this is notice how the pig is moving. And do you see how it gets smaller as it gets further away? I really like that because it showed to me that the student was using ideas that she had learned from many different parts of the curriculum. Because from art class, she'd learned about perspective. To make things look further away, you make it smaller. And from math class, she had learned that if you want to make the size of something smaller, you multiply it by a fraction that's less than 1. So if you look at the program here, you'll see that she keeps multiplying the size of the pig by a number that's less than 1. So it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And of course, she's also using her language skills by writing about the book that she read. So I do see that I get very excited when I see projects like this that aren't just being used in a computer science class, but where the programming is being used across the curriculum, whether it's in a science class like the Journey to the Center of the Earth, or a social studies class with the simulated world, or a language class like an animated book report that also connects with art and math. Because we really want programming to be a literacy. When you learn writing, you use writing across all of your classes. And it helps you learn more. People sometimes say that you learn to write so that you can write to learn. I hope that translates well. I'll say it again. That the purpose of learning to write is so that you can write to learn. That once you learn to write, that through your writing you can learn other things. We say the same things with programming or coding. That you learn to code so that you can code to learn. That by the act of writing programs and coding, you can learn many other things. And that's what we've seen the children doing here. So that's what we're really trying to see. How can we provide more opportunities for children to use the programming they're learning, not just to learn the programming skills, which is important, but then also to learn many other things. Now, it's great for us to see so many children in so many countries doing creative projects with Scratch, but we know that that we're just at the beginning, and we have to keep improving Scratch and changing Scratch because technology continues to change and the world keeps changing. There are new ways of using computers and children are interested in new things. So if we really want Scratch to meet the interests of children, we have to keep changing Scratch